God-forsaken offspring with the Yakutisma now hurling towards Earth on their techno-mutilator star choppers. And to make matters worse, the Necronomicon states that the Yakutisma intended to somehow mate with the Antichrist itself in order to produce some horrendous being so incomprehensibly bad that we might just as well give up trying to explain the whole mess right now. We therefore won't mention the fact that these are flesh beings, thermal minds in the heat shield of the heat shell of the universe who do nothing but think, or that the biblical false prophet is actually a confused mix-up of Bob and the anti-Bob, or that between now and 2178, Earth will be under constant invasion by a horde upon horde of false justly working for all the various rival gangs of infra and extraterrestrials we've mentioned so far, and then some. And we won't know who to believe except Bob, and maybe the real fighting Jesus if he isn't actually out to get back at us. Because we'll have so many to pick from. There'll be the new Jesus, the old-time Jesus, the Word Jesus, the 900-foot tall Jesus, the astronaut Jesus, the lady Jesus, the animal Jesus, and the four-legged Jesus anyway. The lion Jesus, the baby Rodan Jesus, and the cousin Jesus. He don't take shit from nobody. He lights the whole book of matches at once and holds it in his hand, except the Jesus of steel and the Jesus you least expect. He seems like some crook, the small Jesus, the will Jesus, the won't Jesus, the throw the book at him Jesus, the let it all hang out Jesus, the six-gun cowboy Jesus. He came busting through the barroom door wearing nothing but chaps. And the frock Jesus, and the headless golfer Jesus, and the rebel Jesus, and the homo Jesus, and the vampire Jesus. He gave his blood for you, now wants it back. The hitchhiking Jesus, the lead guitar playing Jesus, the comedian Jesus, the goddamn atheist Jesus, the scary monster Jesus, the blind, deaf, and dumb Jesus. Jesus, can't you hear me? The mean, hobbling old cantankerous Jesus, the satellite Jesus, the psycho killer Jesus, the web slinging Jesus, the sailman Jesus, the pipe smoking Jesus, the 10 million SubGeniuses, but maybe somewhere in there might be just plain old Jesus. Bob knows, but he ain't telling. He ain't telling. Therefore, we had to revise a number of rigid Jesus tests, including water walking, wine transmutating, loaf replicating, and book up to the martyr meter. Somebody's faith is being tested, and the stark fist of removal is raised in judgment, poised for the great evacuation. A moment, an illumination, and a wiping from the face of the earth. Not to be confused with a rapture, which is a minor thing. SubGenius is
the Yakutisma are now hurling towards Earth on their techno-mutilator star choppers. And to make matters worse, the Necronomicon states that Yakutisma intends to somehow mate with the Antichrist itself, as they can breed some horrendous being so incomprehensibly bad that you might as well give up the whole mess now. We therefore won't mention the fact that these are flesh beings, thermal minds from the heat shield of the universe who do nothing but think. Or that the biblical false prophet is actually a confused mix-up of Bob and the anti-Bob. Or that between now and 2178, Earth will be under constant invasion by a horde upon horde of false Jesuses, working for all the rival gangs of intra and extraterrestrials we've mentioned so far, and then some. And we won't know who to believe except Bob, because we'll have so many to pick from. There'll be the new Jesus, the old-time Jesus, the Word Jesus, the 900-foot tall Jesus, the astronaut Jesus, the lady Jesus, the animal Jesus, and the four-legged Jesus, the Orion Jesus, the baby rodent Jesus, and the cowboy Jesus who takes shit from no one. He takes the whole book of Matthew, lights it all at once, and holds it in his hand. He is an Uberman. And the Jesus of steel, and the Jesus of the six-pack, the small Jesus, the will Jesus, the won't Jesus, the bucket them Jesus, the let it all hang out Jesus, the six-gun cowboy Jesus. He came busting through the barroom door wearing nothing but chaps. The rock Jesus, and the headless golfer Jesus, and the rebel Jesus, and the hobo Jesus, the rabbi Jesus who gives his blood and now he wants it back. The hitchhiking Jesus, the lead guitar playing Jesus, the clean Jesus, the goddamn atheist Jesus, the scary monster Jesus, the blind, deaf, and dumb Jesus. Jesus, go to hell, Jesus, the mean, gobbling old cantankerous Jesus, the data light Jesus, the psycho killer Jesus, the web slinging Jesus, sailing Jesus, the pipe smoking Jesus, the 10 million sub-geniuses. But maybe somewhere in there might be just plain old Jesus. Bob knows, but he ain't telling him.
What about the girlfriend? It's been about 3 hours. Good time to head out of here. I'm gonna do this for a little bit longer though, because I'm really digging it. Ooh.